real talk, real talk. Let's do this, man. All
Go
right,
ahead,
first off,
Linho.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
So, full disclaimer, man. First off, first off,
Oh, this is so I don't get sued.
but you already got to switch it, right?
Just in case.
You probably want to start over.
Product placement. No, I'm gonna edit the first part out. Product placement. Delight iced coffee. Get you some.
All right, listen. First off, it's just a bunch of shit I've been seeing the last couple of days, man. Like, especially after like what was it, game four or game five? I knew that something was up, man. I was like, this is not about to happen. But anyways, let's start off full disclaimer saying that I'm not an NBA fan. I tuned in this year because Golden State was, playing pretty good. And, I just like to watch people play good sports in general.
Right.
I watch a bunch of Copa America, Euros, and a bunch of other shit. I can't wait for the Olympics to start. So when it comes to that, like, when it comes to sports, like, I mean, I'm pretty unbiased and I pretty much see it all. But is the NBA rigged? First of all,
hold up, man. I can't eat my spaghetti with that on. Go ahead.
first of all, today is June. Well, I mean, yesterday technically, June 19th, right? NBA Finals is the day they pushed it to Game 7, which fell on June 19th, right? And of course, it had to be this storyline that they came down from 3-1 and they took it to 7 games, and King James comes out on top and wins. Matt, can you get on Google right now and Google King James birthday, King James from the Bible?
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I picked into the Matrix. I took a peek into the Matrix, which is like, well, I mean, you're not supposed to do this.
Dude, before
Of
we even
course.
start, listen, before we even start, let me just say that although I do not think the NBA is rigged, I think basketball is the easiest sport to rig. And I think there's the most benefit
We
to
haven't.
rigging.
Wait. We haven't even got into that part yet. I'll get to it, man. Trust me.
I
This
mean,
is
just think
what I'm
about
saying.
it. By going to a game 7, they're gonna make more money. I mean, that's just off the top. That's something that you can't really debate.
And they were talking about tickets selling. They have like record
And think
sale
about it.
tickets.
Think about it. With sports like soccer, it's like there's not really a financial benefit to like
Right.
having more games. It's like
Yeah.
whoever makes the finals makes the finals. People are gonna watch it anyways.
With
With the
soccer,
NBA,
it's
it's like
90,000. They can fill 90,000 in the stadium, and that's it. That's why you don't see two Super Bowls. It's the same way. Like you just need one game.
right, exactly. Like that's why, yeah, I don't think NFL is rigged. I mean, even though Tom Brady got caught cheating, I guess, but like
Right.
I don't think it's rigged. I mean, that's just trying to get an edge, but I don't think that's rigging the game.
But
Oh yeah.
I smell foul play with this one, man. All right, did you Google it?
Oh.
I picked into the metrics, man. You're not supposed to peek into the metrics. When you look into the metrics, you see what is it?
June 19th, 1566.
So tell me something ain't right. The puppet masters are playing with the strings, man. Wait, hold on, man. We're just getting started, man. We're getting started on this one. The puppet masters are playing with the strings, right? I was watching this video on YouTube, and this guy who used to play college basketball, he was like, "All right, man, I like how you guys are talking about a nigger getting fucking 41 points a game, like he's fucking that." But he was like, "These are professional players. Like, if you set it up correctly, professional players, basketball players, like they could ball, man." He was like, "Dude, I play college basketball. Like they could ball. They would drop 40, even 80 points on you if you set it up correctly." It's like gym. I mean, it's not even like gym practice. It's not. It's in the fucking blood. If you set it up correctly, right? You're giving them fouls. They're going to the line. You're putting calls against the other team because that thing was getting into the other team's psyche. You know how it is. I mean, you play sports. We all play sports. When the ref starts calling, especially I think Game 6 when Stephen Curry fouled out with 6 fouls. When the ref starts calling some bullshit fouls, he plays with you mentally, man. And like 90% of the game is mental.
Right. Only people
So
that play sports know that.
start focusing on getting mad at the ref than on your game. So even if you're a good 3-point shooter, but because the ref is just trying to toss you around, I mean, you lose it just that little bit, and that's all it takes to fucking, I mean, the NBA Finals when you're playing with like the best players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes. And he was talking about that. He was like, man, like 40 points, that's nothing. For example, take a look at Kobe this season, right? His last is averaging like 15 points a game, right? But the last game, what happened? They set it up for him, right? Because it was his going out game. They set everything up for him. Every foul was going his way. This nigga dropped 61 points, man. Even if he's old, he's injured, or whatever it is, right? Even if like he's like even like on crutches or some shit, Kobe will still drop 61 points because they were just that good. If you set it up correctly, they would pull up on you, man. If you give him just like an edge of open space, they would be dropping it on you.
Right.
So, I mean, so he was just pretty much just talking about that, like just debugging that, saying that, you know, that's not the whole point. That it's easy to rig the game if you're in the ref, if you control the refs. Because look at it in the NBA. I mean, man, I need to send you the link to this video, man. You talk shit about the refs, they fucking find you, man. If you cough, you say, in the post-game interview, the NBA will find your ass, man. And if you do it again, you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna suspend your ass.
You know, my only argument is like, are the refs really able to control that much of the game to the point where a team wins?
They're influencing enough to influence the outcome of the game. Especially, you know how it is, man. You know how it is. At that level, at the highest of levels of any professional sport, right? It's milliseconds. It's like you've watched sports science. They talk about, oh, he charged around in 0.2
I don't know,
seconds.
man. Like, dude, part of me, like,
please hear me out. Please hear me out. All you have to do is just a little bit. If you like, I mean, I watch NASCAR, and Brad Keselowski a couple of weeks ago, this dude won the race because guess what? You wouldn't think it's that much of a thing, but at that level, when drivers are running like, they're pretty much running the same lap times. They're that good and that competitive at the top of the sport, right? I mean, there's no other better NASCAR drivers on the planet than the ones who are, you know, on the current, you know, field.
Right.
He won the race because his pit crew pulled out a fender. They pretty much, I mean, when they were changing out the tires, right? They pulled out a little bit of the car. They pulled out the fender.
Right.
And it pretty much just gave him like a couple of seconds faster per lap around the track. Like it gave his car that much of an advantage, and that's what it took. Just that little bit. They pulled his fender just a little bit. I mean, he got fined. I think they made him go down pit road or some shit. He got a fine because NASCAR watched on video and they saw them do it, but he still came back and won. So that's what it takes at this level, man. Don't underestimate it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. You even saw the game today. You saw the game today. It was pretty much point for point all the way to the end. At this level, when you get the highest level, I mean, you're not gonna watch motherfuckers get blown out. That's why the game you see them getting blown out, it's probably with the influence. Because when the ref gets into your head and you're focused on being mad at the ref, you're not gonna be hitting your shots. You're not gonna be hitting your shots. You're not gonna be setting up your plays. You're not gonna be setting up your shots correctly, and vice versa.
All right. You know, and it's like, part of me wants to agree with you, then part of me is like,
right, because you're being influenced by being a fan of the Cavaliers. But I will tell you this.
No. I just think like just watching the game, I just didn't. You know, I really just felt like. I mean, come on, like Bogut got injured. Like, how do you?
No. He wasn't. Come on, man. That dude didn't have that much of an influence on the team. The two people you need to be watching who really influenced this finals is Curry and Draymond Green. You know, those are the two main people because those are the players that if they show up on a good night, you know Golden State is winning. But guess what? Draymond Green got suspended. Stephen Curry got kicked out of the game when they were down 10 points. That's. I mean, I told you last. I mean, when we watched the game last time, I told you 10 points for Golden State is nothing, man. If they're down by 10 points, that was like 2 threes and, you know, some change. And they're back in the game. I'm serious. And Stephen Curry in game 6 got kicked out with 6 fouls. And once again, I'll challenge you to go watch that video on YouTube. And a maximum of 2 out of the 6 fouls were actual fouls. Like, you can look it up. I mean, you would even admit it. Even the last one that LeBron got. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. It
So
started almost
you agree with Ayesha Curry when she's
on that
like,
on that point. On that point, I would say yes. Because do you know the last time Stephen Curry got fouled out of a game? 2013, man. I mean, come on. Why is it?
dude, I made the comment. I was like, this guy literally doesn't play defense. How is it even possible he gets fouled out? Like,
Exactly. When they were 10 points down.
he doesn't pick up He doesn't pick up players with the ball.
2 out of the 6 fouls were the ones that I mean, you could pick your 2, but just give the ref 2 out of the 6 are ones that you can say, all right, ref, you can have this, and that's you can have it. That's not saying that it was a definite foul. I mean, this dude stole the ball from Kyrie Irving, and they called a foul. He straight up
Dude,
robbed
do
this
you
dude.
think you really think the NBA would risk that on such a big stage?
Risk what? Because if a player cough on the
Because
ref,
they already had a guy get caught. Donahue.
they already have man, they already have the rules in place to protect themselves. If a player even whispers about the ref, they would fine you. I mean, if it's like if it's like a third or like fourth fine or some shit, you get suspended. I mean, it's you don't even players don't even talk about the ref. And FIFA, I don't know if FIFA started doing this shit to soccer players, but like, I mean, I honestly don't know any sport that does that. To be honest, I mean, most sports are pretty critical about you criticizing the ref, like. But at the same time, most sports it's pretty difficult for you to influence as much as basketball because basketball, guess what? You call a foul, a motherfucker's going to the line, he's shooting points. That could contribute to like you get like this 9-0 runs that teams
I
get
see what
on.
you're saying. Like fouls are more like influential.
Yeah,
And
because it leads directly to points and it leads directly to the damage of the other team's psyche, man. It's just you got to look at it from a different like angle. I already hit you with the fucking
man,
metrics.
you really think the NBA is rigged? Like you really think that
I would go with Ayesha Curry on this one and say that
David
this
Silver is like sitting in his office, like, okay, guys, we know the plan. This
maybe it's
has to
probably
go
not
to
that
game
guy. It's
7.
probably just a few puppet masters that are so high up that
You know
no
what?
one even knows who they
You know
are.
what I'd like to do, and what I wish we did do was like bring out the numbers of the gained revenue from increased. You know what I'm saying? Like if we were able
I
to
don't
get
even
those
need to. I
numbers.
saw an article today that was talking about the game today was selling record tickets. I don't even need to. I
Yeah,
mean, they were
yeah.
selling record tickets at
I
record
heard
price.
they even said during the game, like some guy broke a StubHub record for his seat cost. It was like 40,000 a seat.
Oh man, get out of here, man.
I swear they
Let's
said
not
it
even talk
during
about
the game. They said it during the game. They're like he paid 40,000 each seat, and you bought like two, so he paid 80K for
this.
to watch
This
the game. And I'm like, that wouldn't have even existed had.
yeah, it wouldn't have existed if they closed this out in 4 or 5 games, right? Golden
Right.
State was up in 3-1. I mean, they could have closed it in game 5, dude. See how far we had to come. I'm telling you, something fishy is going on, man. Something fishy is going on. The fact that you had two or pretty much, I mean, during the finals, you had a game where fucking Draymond Green was the highest scoring player, man. He was like pretty much the game's MVP, like player of the match. But they suspended his ass. And then on top of that, they suspended Stephen Curry. I mean, not to mention game 6, I won't even count Stephen Curry because the moment they started fouling him with those bullshit fouls, watch his reaction, man. Watch his reaction. It was already getting into him mentally. Like he was like tossing, like you saw when he tossed his mouth guard, but that was like a 6 foul. But he was like saying, "Come on, man." He was like picking up the basketball and saying, "Come on, man." He was already like psychologically out of the fucking game. And then what they were doing. And you said it too. This dude never fouls out. But when you take out two of like the most, I mean, why didn't they find a way to suspend LeBron or another influential player for the Cavaliers and see how the Cavaliers would have fared in a 7-game series?
You know, I
It's a
don't know,
game.
like, dude,
Listen,
I'm on the edge. You
I
know,
know, I know. It's a
I really
game of
am on the edge.
inches. It's a game of inches. At this level, the finals, you're pretty much talking about the two best team with possibly the how many players on each team?
I mean, I don't know, like maybe 15.
All right. So you're talking about pretty much 30 of the best basketball players on the planet. as of right now, in this moment in time, right? I mean, players get in and out of form, but like you're talking about like 30 of the best basketball players on the planet playing right now. It's just a game of inches. Any little bit of manipulation or nudging would tip it on the other side. But let alone talking about suspending players, because guess what? Suspending him, they had to come up with a whole new lineup. And you even saw this dude, Iguodala, was like fucking like his back was hurting or some shit. Like that's come up with a whole new lineup, which means a whole new set of plays, which means a whole new set of who the fuck is gonna take shots or like who the fuck is gonna get on the pick and roll. Like it just changes the whole fucking dynamic, man. Not to mention when you're suspending two of the most influential players. I'm telling you, man, you would see how many. Get on YouTube and talk and look the shit up. You see so many videos from like June 13, June 16, days before today's game. They're already talking about like, man, the Cavs are gonna win this shit because the way the whole thing was already setting up. There's no way. There's really no way. There's really no way. I mean.
Again, man, I'm just like I'm really on the fence. I thought that King James stat that you brought up was pretty interesting. I mean,
I'm telling you, man, when you peek into the Matrix, there's gonna be some bullshit you see there.
it's just like, oh man, is that just really, really coincidental?
I mean, did you know tomorrow is also the summer solstice? These motherfuckers that are like sun worshippers, right? Tomorrow is summer solstice, right? The longest day of the year, right? The sun is gonna be out for like 17 hours or some bullshit. The first day of summer.
17 hours.
Now listen, I mean,
man, about to be bright outside tomorrow. Dude, I'm off tomorrow too, which is nice. So I might.
It's not a coincidence.
I might enjoy some of the sun. No,
and I know about this because I know like Muslim people were in the middle of the month of Ramadan, right? And they fast for 30 days and they fast during the daylight and they only eat at night when the moon is out, when it's dark outside. So like this whole thing, like I mean, this is at a different level than like us just talking about sports, man. They had to push this to Game 7. They had to push the fucking King James's birthday. Fucking King, like the
Sun King, right? It wasn't he the Sun King? No, who was that him?
Let's stop looking into this because we're gonna find some shit that's even gonna piss me off more, man. I'm telling you, it's when you peek into the Matrix and see things are already starting to line up, man.
In the description for this video, I'm definitely pulling that stat. I'm gonna be like, interesting that they won on King James' birthday. Very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, right. It's one of those like, oh, what are the odds things? And, of course, you can have people that are like, well, that's just coincidence. I mean, we're talking
look on the face,
1 out of 365. What's that number? Somebody calculate that. What's that? I mean, that's the type of coincidence we're talking about. I mean, then it went to Game 7. Same day? Same exact day?
They probably scheduled this shit. They probably, when they were making the schedule, the 2016 schedule, they saw that, oh shit, we can get this shit. We can get this shit on the fucking.
I know, but then again, like part of me is just like, I mean, I'm so on the edge.
For example, I think last year's final, I don't think they didn't do too much manipulation. I think in last year's finals they let them play, right? They didn't try to poke into it, and you saw what happened. They fucking Golden State. I mean, they make threes. They shoot well. They're good players once again. These are professional players once again. And they got this shit out in 6 games. And they looked at it this year and they were like, what can we do to manipulate it? Like, they pretty much set the stage when Golden State came back from 3-1 at OKC. They're already setting up the Goliath, right? And they needed like a fucking David, King James. So they needed like a storyline, right?
Okay. Dude, to be fair, I'm pretty sure OKC just choked. I mean, I don't know about that.
I know that. But I'm saying that's when it started. I'm just saying. No. Hear me out. Once they closed that out and they got in here, that's when that shit started, man. That's when it started. You started seeing some bullshit. Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Wasn't it during the OKC series when they started looking at Draymond Green and his supposedly foul? I'm telling you, man. You play sports and I play sports. We've seen shit go down, and we didn't even play pro at any level. Did we? We played at like semi-pro at best, right? College or whatever, high school. So you've seen shit go down on the field that, like, dude, it's just part of the game. You've seen even worse or more physical shit happen. That's just part of the game. I understand that yes, there's more cameras at the pro level, but dude, come on, man. Getting hit in the is that really what they're gonna be calling? Is that really what they're gonna be looking at? Once again, watch that video that Stephen Curry committed 6 fouls. They compiled all 6 of the fouls, and you would watch that video and say, dude, man, if you're looking at this from like a referee that doesn't even know these 2 players, right, and just knows NBA officiating rules, you would probably give him 2 at best. 2 fouls at best. Let alone foul Stephen Curry with like a game that has like a 10-point difference.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like,
No,
look. I think I gotta play the devil's advocate here because I'm like, on one hand, I think you're right when it comes to like history not being all that consistent with the rigging. Like, I don't think they do it every year.
Tell me how many NBA
I think like every couple years they might just whip it out. I mean, they've gotten caught before. I mean, I think like I think that alone kind of ruined a lot of credibility of the game, I feel like.
How many NBA finals since you've been alive, right? I don't know how many years you've been on this earth. How many NBA finals have you seen players get suspended from the series for a game or some shit? Get kicked out of a game, let alone the star, the main play, the players who are dropping the most points on the night. Tell me how many.
That's true, because I'm looking at the game. I'm like, I could just not imagine LeBron fouling out.
You can't imagine Michael Jordan getting fouled.
Come on, man! Like, you can't deny
the NBA finals.
LeBron played his socks off. LeBron played his socks off, though. Like,
wait! You would
defensively, offensively, he was just on it.
Not even that. You would. I mean, can you remember a World Cup final that you've actually seen a ref give a red card? Even like a semi-final. Since you've been alive, I don't know way back. Have you seen the Champions League game where the ref is giving a red card to any player, any one of the 22 players? They pretty much gave 2 red cards in this case. Not even that. No, Draymond Green's one is worse than a red card because this is a game suspension. FIFA has even set it up in such a way that, I mean, the 2 tournaments going on right now. If you get 2 yellow cards throughout the tournament, you get suspended for 1 game. But I think that rule is waived after the quarterfinals. Like, if you get a yellow card prior to the quarterfinals and your team makes it to the quarterfinals, all the cards are like wiped out. And moving on all the way to the finals, like you guys are playing on like a brand new state. Did you know that? The cards don't even transfer to the next. I'm telling you, man. The game is even. They would look out for the players in that case. They're looking out for the players in that case, right? Because they don't want a final where like
the star players don't play.
Yeah, today I think Coach Laini from France got a yellow card. I think that shit's about to get wiped out because they moved out of the group stage today. So, I mean, you wouldn't want to see France without like the star defenders like moving forward. So, I mean, right. You know what could happen in that case, right?
Right.
I mean, that pretty much is just like the death wish for France. You have like 2 defenders like moving into like the semifinals with yellow cards.
I see what you're saying, man, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
You gotta watch these videos. You gotta watch these videos. Watch.
I feel like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy that we like basically. I feel like we still talk about conspiracy theories.
I know, because the puppet masters are still alive and well. And guess what? Ayesha Curry, she travels with her husband on the road every fucking goddamn week, man. She's in this shit. She sees this shit for herself. What makes you think this triggered her to just say that? I mean, it probably just got overwhelming to say that she got the same feeling I was getting, that something ain't right.
I thought that comment was a little bit weird because I can't remember I just can't remember somebody of that position ever just kind of like lashing out like that, like somebody who, I'll give her credit. I mean, she's probably watched like
she took it down though.
She's probably watched 80 Golden State games this season. Her and her family, I'm sure. So I mean,
she watched the wicked running. I mean, the wicked.
And she's been sitting courtside, so she had a pretty good view. But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, dude. If you can rate
and here's Stephen Curry, he just like brushed it off. He like the press conference prior to Game 7, he just brushed it off because guess what? You say shit about the ref or you say shit about the game.
Oh, he knows.
That's motherfucking be out of there, man. So he was just like, he actually joked and just said that, he's gonna cut off the Wi-Fi at the house so she won't be getting on Twitter and just talking the same shit she was talking about. He just joked about it, man. I'm telling you. You gotta see it, man. What would make that? See, in the real, in like an actual like in the real world, right? Is someone you saw how pissed he was. He got after he got found out. In the
Right.
real, without any fines, without any like repercussions of speaking out, this dude would have came out and be like, "Man, this is some bullshit, man. I did this, I did that. The rest called on this, called on that." But he was just like, "No," because he understands what the fuck is going on. He actually just joked about cutting his wife's Wi-Fi off, man.
Which is like, I'm sure she has data anyways.
He cut the phone off too, cut. He's cut
Definitely
off the phone
cutting
call.
everything.
I mean,
Man, I don't know. Like, to conclude, I'm not really. I don't know. Like, yeah, I hear you, and you're bringing up some good points, but at the same time, like, I just one half of me is just like, I think.
when we get off the air, right, you're gonna watch these videos and you're gonna look. I mean, like I said, I don't want you to peek into the message because once you start peeking into the message, you start seeing a bunch of bullshit. Not sun worshippers, summer solstice. I mean, the whole thing is just why did they have to push it to game 7? And not to mention, I saw so many suggested videos on YouTube. People already after game 5 and 6. This is even before game 7. People were already concluding that the Cavaliers are going to win. The Cavaliers have it. It's already done because people already know it, man. NBA players will know it. I mean, listen. They don't tell. The game is not rigged through the players because the players don't play. They won't play with heart and spirit. Like you're gonna see it on the field. Like you're gonna see how obvious it is if they rigged it using players, right? It's gonna be like fucking WWE. But the way they influence the game on like any other game is using the referees. No other sport can you use your officials to pretty much just like, I mean, they decide the score of the game essentially. It's like fucking a NASCAR race, just having an official being like, oh shit, you ran over a fucking duck on the backstretch, so that win you got today, we're just gonna give it to second place. that's like that's like NASCAR just doing that, using the officials to do that, pretty much. Yeah, you won the race, but you know what I mean. But you ran over like a stone or some shit,
I don't know, dude. Okay, like back to I think my only real defense is like I just don't see why the NBA would take such a risk. I mean, I get what you're saying.
It's
like,
not a risk to them when they. I'm not saying it's the NBA. I don't know who it is.
but dude, if they found out,
massive.
if they found any evidence that it was actually rigged, like I feel like the whole league would just be destroyed. You know what I mean? Like the credibility would just be destroyed.
You had the MVP's wife speak up, and the thing just quickly just got like washed away. It was just like shh. It just like it was like sprinkles. It was
Like, I mean, was she just a sore loser? Part of me is just like, I'm so 50-50 about it. That's the worst part. Because I'm not.
I would
I'm
get
not,
you 60.
You'll hear me be like, I'm not going to be like, there's no way the NBA is rigged, but I'm also not going to be like, oh, it's definitely rigged, I'm kind of like,
let me help you.
I need to see more evidence.
Let me help you. Get a piece of paper, right? And just start writing out the things that really seem kind of odd, if you know what I mean. Number 1, suspended Draymond Green. Number 2, suspended Stephen Curry when the game was 10 points. And mind you, right up until that point, they pretty much already fucked with his psyche. After like the second foul, you can watch this dude's reaction. He was out of the fucking game. The moment you focus at like lashing out at a referee, because you see he would react for like 30 seconds or so after the call foul. He would like walk up to the ref, like swing his arms and be like, nah, man, that's not a fucking dude. When you're already doing that, you're swinging your arms and you're yelling and your face is frowning. You're not focusing on taking those nasty ass 3-pointers from like pretty much.
Dude, do you think the NBA? Do you think the NBA players themselves sit around and are like, man, I think this league is rigged, but we just can't talk about it? I mean, is it like that?
They definitely feel the effect from the referees. When that's what I'm saying. It's almost like you're playing 2 different teams. You're not just facing your opponent. I mean, it's not like any sport. It's not like you're facing your opponent. You've got the refs that influence just about every single decision. And when you're playing a finals against both teams are good. You know that. Both teams are fucking good enough to win the championship. It's like a 50-50 toss. You know it. It's like a 50. I mean, Cleveland have all the goodies and Golden State has all the goodies. But when you bring a third fucking opponent, which is the ref that can easily give this person an extra free throw, give you this foul out. Once again, 2 players got suspended in the 7-game series, man. 2 players got suspended. It's 7 games. If that doesn't fuck up your flow, I mean, like I said, take out Ronaldo from Real Madrid from a game. Take out Ronaldo and Benzema, and see how many games Real Madrid is gonna win. They're gonna play good. They're gonna score goals, but they're not gonna make runs. They're not gonna be like a strong team, like on the attack. You know it too. You would think that's not gonna be. Oh yeah, you can probably win without them. That Champions League that Real Madrid won, do the same shit. Take out Ronaldo, take out Benzema, put them on the bench for 1 game. Give one of them a red card during the game. I'm telling you. That's essentially what happened, right? I mean, are you gonna argue that that's not what happened here? You want to say that
the King James summer solstice conspiracy? That's what I'm gonna call this video. The King James summer solstice game 7 conspiracy. Aisha was right. I don't know, dude. I'm still 50-50, man. Like, part of me is like, but the NBA's done it before. And, I don't know why I'm defending the NBA so hard right now.
Once again, you're using the word NBA. I don't think it's NBA like you're saying it. I think it's puppet masters. People who are
not like the NBA. Yeah, you're right. I think we're talking like maybe the folks really work in the franchise.
I would say
I'd say the people intertwined with ABC too, because I'm sure ABC has like a say in it.
No. They don't mess with the media. These people are higher up than the media because they understand the psyche. This is probably a room of about 5 really important people that sit down and just run through this. And because they're so influential and they can control so much of the world, that of course the media would run with it. When you set up a David Goliath, that's like a natural human reaction. People will start talking. I mean, media will talk about it. It's easy, man. That's like an easy script. All you gotta do is just set it up, and you just watch the thing play in front of you. Why do you think they do false flags? Do they try to forcefully control people? No, you just set it up. You put the media will pick it up. People start talking, and it just play out the way you set it up to. It's like 5 people who are influencing this using like a tree of branches, and that's all it takes.
So what do you think about today's game? I mean, do you think today's game was rigged?
Let me be honest with you. I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't like the whole series, so I didn't like what was.
I mean, I was watching today's games. It seemed pretty straightforward. I wouldn't be like, oh, the refs were incredibly biased, dude. I don't really even like Cleveland that much. It's just like I was just going for East Coast teams, So I'm not really like biased towards Cleveland either. But
I saw a few fouls today that, man. But I would say Cleveland won today's game. I would say that.
Or did they just take their hands off the wheel? They're like, it's game 7. It really doesn't matter at this point.
No, I didn't watch the game once again. But if you're not looking at it, if you don't look at the calls from a rigged perspective, like that dude said, you're not gonna see it. So you actually have to look for it. You have to look for it because, like I said, any moment when you have a ref call something that is, these calls aren't perfect. It's not like FIFA's level of like officiating. I mean, FIFA. I've been watching this. I mean, Euro 2016. It's been fucking fantastic this year, man. I mean, I watch almost every single game. They have like 50 games or so for this whole tournament. Mm-hmm. I've watched about like 20 games so far, and I've seen like 2 bad calls in 20 games. 2 calls that like I would be like, man, come on, ref, like you're blind. Every other call, the offsides have been like spot on. You would have a player who has like his right thigh is offsides, and they'll call it, and that's definitely offsides, right? I mean, you can't argue against that. I mean, the player could argue all day long, but you could see his right like leg was offsides, and they were that good. The officials were that good. Of course, with the goal line technology, they can't miss any of that and all of that stuff. So, I mean, the refs don't really. They've done a pretty good job at letting the players decide this tournament. And I mean, there've been some pretty good games. There's been some really good games, as a matter of fact.
Man, how do we sum this up? Like, so, what I would like to do? Like, I would honestly, I'd like to do like a PowerPoint for this and just jot down all the strange things about the NBA. Because if somebody was watching, they'd be like, all right, y'all said a bunch of stuff. But if I just sit
Man, just
there
do a
and just
slideshow. Do a
work out,
slideshow, man.
yeah, it like we did in the other video. If I just sat there and like wrote, number one, solstice. Number two, King James birthday. Number
Nah,
three,
nah,
like
do
then number
pictures.
three, like the foul, like Steph Curry getting fouled out. This guy is not fouled out in like what 1,000
3
games.
years. It's like
He doesn't
3
play
years.
defense. I said that jokingly the other day. I was like, how's a player foul out that doesn't play defense?
That's what I'm saying. That should have raised your eyebrow a whole lot more.
And
This
this guy,
is
he's probably the least likely player to foul out on the entire
the
court.
MVP, nonetheless. This
Least
year's
likely. I'm
MVP.
counting bench players. I'm counting players that play like 10 minutes a game. He's probably less likely to foul out than them. And it's the game, and it's like the NBA Finals. I'd be
Right?
like,
And he's the
odds of him
MVP.
fouling out is like, he doesn't play defense. It's like, how do you foul out a game?
Man, listen, he's the MVP though. That's like a Ballon d'Or player getting a red card. Like you never hear about this shit. You
And he's a
never.
point guard, dude. When's the last time you've seen a point guard foul out of a game? I mean, if you
And
watch the
he's the
NBA,
highest.
that's
Isn't he the
pretty
highest
rare.
scoring player on the team? Isn't he? Like I'm seeing so many positives that it just doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. You watch all 6 fouls, you would give the ref 2. And those 2 are still debatable. That's something that if you go to like a review room and you try to like debate with referees.
Was it actually a foul?
NFL replay camera, the ref goes into a little.
But yeah, they go
They
into
do the
it.
same shit too in the fucking NBA now.
That's a catch.
Ruling on the field stands.
Yeah, really got the head stats. Touchdown.
Nah, I'm for real. If you look at it just doesn't make any sense. 2 players. Was it game 2 or game 3? I don't know which game it was, but game 3 or 2, Draymond Green was like player of the game. He scored the most points. He dropped like 30-something points or some shit, right? He dropped the most points, right? This is a dude that gets like triple doubles, right? Arguably, possibly like NBA Finals MVP, but this dude gets suspended. Oh, for what? Everyone has seen the video, right? You've seen the video of what he got suspended for.
I don't even think I've seen the video. I think that's my problem.
Oh, wow. LeBron steps over this guy while he's on the floor, and he gets up like angrily, and he got suspended for it, for allegedly smacking LeBron in the nuts. What if Draymond Green was injured? I mean, he was on the floor, and LeBron tried to do the Allen Iverson shit where he like steps over the player. What if he was injured? Do you step over an injured player? So they were both at fault. So LeBron should have also gotten like a foul too and suspension as well. Like, right? It should have been a 50-50.
I think all the odds were against Golden State. I think that can be said. We were talking like, he fouled out. So did Steph. Andrew Bogut got injured. I think Iguodala was injured too. Like they had to pull a lot of strings for the Cavs to win, I'd say. I mean, the Cavs had like their full lineup.
True. But they had to do all that bullshit to get them to win. They had to suspend 2 players. You can't tell me that Draymond Green missing the game didn't affect that game. Obviously, they lost the game. But like I said, it threw out the whole like no, the coach probably already had like 7 games. He had like 7 game plans. He said, okay, he probably had like, I don't know, like 23 different like permutations or some shit. If we lose this game, this is how we're gonna come out the next game. We're gonna come out shooting only 3s in the first quarter or some shit, right? You pass it to this guy, or if we won last game, we're gonna come out just making layups and just taking jumpers. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. But when you take out a player out of your starting 5, you start the game like off. I mean, once again, I'm telling you, these are professional fucking players, bro. Like, this is the best in the world at what they do. So you're not gonna stand here and try to say that, oh, it doesn't really have that much of an effect. That's all it takes. Once again, just like the NASCAR guy.
I agree with you with the whole balance. I'm like, yeah, I think the game is way more balanced than people think. I mean, what is exactly as you say, man. Like, pretty much everybody in the league has the same practice schedule. I mean, we're talking all day. So it's like the level of competition is pretty intense. So it's like a ref can have a really big influence. And I think the whole point is like,
any player in the NBA can drop 40 points.
Let's look at this like we're solving a murder. Like they always look for a motive. What's the motive for the NBA? And I think The NBA more like,
storylines,
we've already brought up the fact
ratings,
that they have financially one,
right?
ratings two.
Vegas betting odds. Because I mean, come on, we Golden State winning like 73 games, record-setting game. I mean, the odds in Vegas was like stacked for them. I mean, you know what I mean? So the Vegas betting
Surely.
odds was also probably a pretty good motive for some certain people pulling the strings. What else?
You
Can you
know,
imagine?
they also wasted. Didn't Cleveland get like two first round picks? I can't remember. Didn't they get like they gave them the first pick of the draft?
What?
You know, they're showcasing players. Kyrie, which is also coincidental. You know, when LeBron went to Cleveland, they just happened to get the first pick that year.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they finished like, I think they had like, you know how like the lottery system works. I think they were like, I don't know. I could be making this stat up, but they weren't like the first choice, is what I'm saying. Like they weren't the worst team in the league,
Right.
you know. So I don't remember what number they were, but they weren't the worst team. But they happened to win it. Hawks never will, even though even though they're qualified for the lottery like every season. But anyways, yeah, like it's were they showcasing players? Yeah. Is LeBron like the crown jewel of the league? Absolutely.
King James, summer solstice bullshit. That's probably like I said. There's a lot of things. When the metrics intersects with you, I'm telling you, man, you can't get away from it. Like,
I mean, is his last thing? I don't know. Part of me is also like, okay, with the King James thing, very
hey, hold on. How many
coincidental.
games did Golden State lose this year? How many games?
How many games? What?
How many games did Golden State lose this year?
I know they broke the record. I think it was like 7 games, 7 or
They
8.
only lost 7 games, right? Right? Out of 80 games, right? What are the odds these motherfuckers will lose 3 in a goddamn row? Right? They lost 7 in 80 something, right? Out of 80 something played.
I mean, it's the finals, dude. It's the finals. That's true.
Hear me
I hear what
out.
you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying, though. But I mean, dude, it's the finals. I mean,
All right,
it's hard. It's
all
hard
that
to
taken
prepare
out, all that
for
taken
that type
out.
of stage.
Isn't that why the odds were in their favor? Because they were just that good that like someone had to suspend 2 of the players in order to get something out of
You
it.
know, I think it's gonna be eerie, like the next couple of days of the NBA. I think they almost went too
They did it for the
far.
storylines.
I think they went too far with it. I mean, if it is rigged, I feel like it's like just don't rig it, NBA. Like I know it's more financially beneficial, but I think in the long run, it's better for the credibility of the league.
But the
Like,
dummies don't know though. I mean, if it wasn't for Aisha Curry pulling that out, people wouldn't have picked it up. But I started even before she sent out that tweet, I was like, man, something ain't right. In what sport? In what sport? In what sport do you find them? I mean, even in England, where Jamie Vardy, I mean, Leicester City won the league. Can you imagine the last 10 games when they were going down that stretch? Can you imagine referees all of a sudden just giving them yellow cards and red cards and they're getting suspensions left and right? Even if that's like a no-name team, right? Danny Drinkwater, Counter. Those are like no-name players, right? Even
right.
if in that case, in what planet do you see those suspending the main players in games that lead to championships? Tell me. Whoa.
Yeah, dude, I see what you're saying, man. I see what you're saying.
And not to mention the cost.
It's very fishy, but I think like at the end of the day, it's still like speculation. I mean, the only way we would ever know for sure is if they actually find some like hard evidence. And
Well,
so like how
did Draymond Green
sleuthy
get
can
suspended
we
during the
be?
season? Like, let me give an example. Pepe, right? Defender for Real Madrid and Portugal. You know this dude is like probably one of the roughest players out there. You know throughout the season, this dude will be getting yellow cards like a motherfucker. How many did Draymond Green ever get suspended or get fouled out of a game the entire season?
I don't know. I'd have to check that stat. I know Steph hasn't, but I don't know, man. This is the I hate NBA.
I don't
Like,
like it
why?
either, man.
Why NBA? Why? I mean, y'all are so obvious. If it is rigged, y'all are so obvious. It's like ridiculous. It's like, damn. I mean, come on, Steph. You can't just foul out a player that doesn't ever foul players. It doesn't make sense. I mean, damn. They literally rotate him so he doesn't have to guard anybody. Like, and he fouls out. What the heck? Like I said, dude, I think I want to put that stat out. I want to see the least likely players to foul out in the entire league. Where does he rank per minute? Per minute, we're talking. Like, I think he's probably one of the very highest. I'd say he's even higher than LeBron. I mean, even LeBron contests shots, so he might actually foul
Yeah,
somebody.
even LeBron is more likely to get fouled out for fucking game. I'm on the hold on. I'm on the stats website right now. Trying to see where the fouls are. Fouls per game, fouls per season.
Check the stats. My team win.
They're not counting fouls.
So it's stat is the NBA withholding stats. They're probably listening to our podcast right now.
Man, just go up the air, man. Fuck this shit. Okay, here it is. Personal fouls per game. And would you fucking believe it? Would you fucking believe it? He actually fouled less this year, hold on, than he did last year. This season, personal fouls per game is 3.0. Last season was 3.2. Hold on, where is that? Personal fouls. Yes, he
Average.
had less fouls. I'm looking at the total stats. He had less fouls this year, 240 versus 253 than last year. I'm looking it up. As a matter of fact, the ones he had this year was, I mean, almost like, well, he's been in the NBA for 4 seasons. Damn, he's pretty young.
Yeah, man. I remember when he first came out. You remember Chris Valanka, right? Not to name names, but Chris
Yeah,
V. Yeah, he was actually a big Steph Curry fan. I remember that. And that was like before he blew up.
back in Davis.
Yeah, back when he played for Davis. And he was like traying on everybody.
Would you look at this? Per 100 team possessions, he had the lowest personal fouls per 100 team possessions this year. This was the lowest in his career.
I'm trying
Out
to
of the
find
4 seasons. I'm that serious. I'm looking at this year. So he had like one
fouls
of the
per game NBA. I feel like the NBA is hiding these stats. I want to see the players. I want to see like the players foul per minute ratio. And I bet Steph is like at the very top. I can't even think of a player that fouls less than Steph. I mean, he literally does not play defense. Like it's their game plan. I'm not just making it up because he's not a good defender. Like they literally switch him every time because they don't want him guarding players. That's why Russell Westbrook, like, if you remember that clip where they're like, can Steph guard you? They asked
uh-huh.
Russell Westbrook if Steph can guard him. He started laughing. He took backlash, but it's like, he can't guard Russell Westbrook. He doesn't guard Russell Westbrook. Like, that's why they beat them in this series. If he was picking Russell one on one every, like, every drive,
All right. So out of the last 3 seasons, he had the lowest personal fouls per game this year. Going back
uh,
the last 3 seasons, man. I'm still looking at this shit.
oh man, I can't find it. I can't find these
On
stats.
fucking real. On fucking real.
Dude, you gotta send me that link where you found that stat. Player
Hold on.
fouls per game.
I'm about to do this shit right now. We can go up there, by the way. Like I'm already done talking about the main shit. Like it's just
Oh, I think I found something actually. Yeah, we can go
Yeah.
off there.